रंजन
मैडम, मुझे मालूम है कि आज समय की बड़ा अभाव है, मैं भी मेरा वक्तव्य ज्यादा देर नहीं करेंगे। See, the fact is that already the concerned minister, I know that I understand that your stomach is now brimming with the legal interpretations of the concerned legislation, and I do not want to burden you with more sumptuous doses that already been offered by my esteemed colleagues to you. I have got some sorts of outlandish and bereft of any lucid argument from your end, which is really, perturbing myself. You have cited during your initiation that FATA practices and other European countries' practices should be adopted. मुझे ये लगता है कि जब मोदी जी आपको कहते हैं कि वोकल फॉर लोकल, आपकी रवैया बदलते देखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि आप कहते हैं कि लोकल और ग्लोबल। हमारे देश की ये इंस्टीट्यूशन है, ये प्रीमियर इन्वेस्टिगेटिव इंस्टीट्यूशन which is named after CBI, which by your persistent endeavor has been turning into a retaliatory investigative institution. And there lies the intent of this legislation. You have told that, just see our intent. But I resolutely say that certainly your intent is ominous. Ominous in that sense that you are worshipping through this bill the culture of subserviency. Instead of efficiency and competency, you are, through this legislation, giving precedence to the culture of subserviency. So when subserviency will prevail, certainly the competency and efficiency will be undermined. And if it is so, then the entire edifice of premier investigative agencies will be affected. There is no denying of it. If you have been bolstered by another, your colleague, my colleague also, Mr. Rajyavardhan Rathore ji, to make it more convenient state of Rajyavardhan, I am quoting Jaswardhan Azad. I quote, who is currently the Central Information Commissioner and has been an IPS officer for 40 years. I quote him. This move will render the chiefs of important investigative agencies to the status of daily wage earners. It will demoralize younger talent and undermine the autonomy and independence of the agencies. That the ordinances were brought just before a parliament session means they were not meant to be a move to reform and streamline the functioning of the agencies, but designed for particular individuals. I am most disappointed. ये मैं नहीं कहते हैं, ये एक IPS ऑफिसर जो सेंट्रल इंफॉर्मेशन कमिश्नर इतना ऊंचा पद के रहते हुए एक ऑफिसर ये बता रहे हैं. This is why I am talking about that you are worshipping the culture of subserviency. The person who will be capitulating pusillanimously to the dictates of the government, he will be rewarded. And who, by the sweat of the brow, has achieved some sorts of competency, he will be punished. This should not be so in my argument. Former Commissioner of Delhi Police, Neeraj Kumar, again I quote, I am surprised. I hope this does not lead to other agency heads seeking similar extension. Should that happen, it would not be in the best interest of human resource management down the line. Everybody knows the person who is being favored by you is overseeing multiple cases of alleged money laundering against opposition leaders. Already our colleagues have referred to it. See, you are resorting to such an ordinances that has been opposed overwhelmingly by all the opposition parties leaders in the House. And during introduction, I have also taken strong exception to this kind of legislative document because it is violative of the 123 article of our Constitution. Certainly, it is our duty to oppose this kind of retrogressive legislation being initiated by you from your end. See, you are talking about public interest. जितेंद्र जी, आपको हंसी गायब हो गया क्या? हंसी बंद हो गया, गायब हो गया क्या? आप उस समय हंसते थे, आप गायब हो गए हंसी. The union government, just listen to me. The union government has hastily passed an ordinance in the name of public interest. But if it truly wanted to amend to the CBC Act 2003 in public interest, it should have framed measures to address the CBC's malfunction. The current bill does nothing to improve or strengthen it, thus the problem will persist and possibly worsen. For instance, in the year 2021, only 2 monthly performance reports, January and February, have been published. Long pending vacancies. Furthermore, the post of Central Vigilance Commissioner was vacant from June to September 2021. Even between 2019 to 2020, the commission was without a Central Vigilance Commissioner for nearly a year, and an impromptu arrangement of appointing an actual Central Vigilance Commissioner was adopted. Both the Vigilance Commissioner posts are currently still vacant. One of these posts has been vacant since October 2020. A group of former judges, ex-bureaucrats, and activists demanded that the vacant job be filled immediately, stating that the union government had effectively paralyzed the Central Vigilance Commission. Moreover, apart from the circular of May 2021 that requested application for the position of Central Vigilance Commissioner, no other details were made available in the public domain. The names of the members of the search committee, as well as the specifics of the application submitted in response to the circular, were kept under wraps. If appointments are not made in timely way, ensuring transparency, the objective of the establishing autonomous organization like the CBC is defeated. I would like to again beg your attention that one IPS officer, I do not want to name him, that the government can tell the ED chief, today you have done good work, let us see if you can keep this up tomorrow. A senior civil servant pointed out, this is not the first instance of the government's pick and choose policy. So the policy basically contingent upon the pick and choose according to your whims and fancy. Regarding heads of the investigating agency, when the issue of appointing Commissioner of Delhi Police had come up, the government gave an affidavit in court. Government gave an affidavit in court saying the current crops of officers in the Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Mizoram, Union Territory cadre, from where the Delhi Police Commissioner usually picked, had no suitable person, which is why they had been compelled to bring an officer from outside the cadre for the job. Whether it is true, whether it is substantiated by you, whether it is vindicated by your argument, do you think that this is the righteous way to induct this kind of officers into the high officials? I would like to know from you, what is the present status of the success rate of the CBI, the cases being investigated by the CBI, number of those cases, and the success rate of the investigative agencies, the rate of conviction of the investigative agencies? Please, if you have at your disposal you may share with us. Like the other day, during the introduction of this legislation, again, I am raising the same issue that the ordinance was issued on November 14, 2021, merely 3 days prior to the date of expiry of tenure of the Director of Enforcement, Mr. Samwan. I would like to flag your attention on another aspect. The Union government amended the Fundamental Rule 56, which states that no government employee above the age of 60 can continue to work unless they are a specialist in medical or scientific fields, an eminent scientist of international stature, the Defense Secretary, the Home Secretary, or the Director of the Intelligence Bureau, the Director of the CBI, and the Director of the ED were granted this exception. See, not only this issue, I would like to flag the attention of the entire House that in yet another move, the central government issued a gazette notification concerning the extension of the tenure of Defense Secretary, Home Secretary, Director of Intelligence Bureau, Secretary of Research and Analysis Wing for 2 years. It did this through a gazette notification amending Fundamental Rules 1922, Rule 56 in Clause D for 5th proviso, allowing for the extension of service of the Defense Secretary, Home Secretary, Director of IB, Secretary of Research and Analysis Wing, and the Director of Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate. If the government considers the extension to be in public interest for such period as it may deem proper on a case-to-case basis. So these are the most salient features that needs to be elaborated by the Honorable Minister. Government can give extension to chiefs of central agencies for a period it may deem fit. The total extension will be for a period of 2 years, according to the fundamental rules. New rules allow officer to serve till 64 years against 62. It will be on a case-to-case basis, won't apply uniformly. आपको ये नहीं लगता कि इसमें हमारा काबिल जो ऑफिसर है, काबिल ऑफिसर वंचित होते जा रहे हैं? इसलिए मैं आपको ये ध्यान आकर्षण करते हुए कहूंगा कि आप दोबारा इस विषय पे सोचिए, क्योंकि ये हमारा प्रीमियर इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज है. ओवर द ईयर द सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन हैज इमर्ज्ड as a premier investigation agency. In the last 75 years, the organization has evolved from हो गया एकदम खत्म. From an anti-corruption agency, multifaceted, multidisciplinary central police law enforcement agency with capability, credibility, and legal mandate to investigate and prosecute offences anywhere in India. As on date, offences under 69 existing central and 80 state acts, 231 offences under the Indian Penal Code have been notified by the central government under Section 3 of the DSPE Act. मैं एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूं अंतिम में, you should not tinker with this premier investigative agency only to serve the narrow and parochial interest of this present dispensation. With this suggestion, I am opposing that twin bills which have been brought together for passing vehemently, and also suggest you to think over it twice, because if you think twice, it will ultimately beneficial for the country.
सभापति महोदय,